We do start our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the WNBA. Caitlyn Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the WNBA.
Walks down to the end of the court. You can tell that she's in pain. You can tell that there's something wrong.
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated. And
she is fighting back tears, and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying.
It wasn't just a pass. It was a warning. On July 15, 2025, in the final minute of a tight game against the Connecticut Sun, Caitlyn Clark, Indiana star rookie and the WNBA's brightest spotlight, dropped a simple bounce pass to teammate Kelsey Mitchell. But as her foot planted and her body turned, Clark grabbed at her right leg. Just a flicker of pain, but the kind that tells you everything. The crowd didn't notice. The commentators moved on.
This on Clark's status for the weekend, Alexa Philippou. Alexa, what more can you tell us about the decision for Clark to sit out this weekend?
I think across all of Indianapolis, all of the WNBA world to hear this news, and we know.
But Clark knew. By the next day, headlines screamed, Caitlyn Clark out of All-Star Weekend. A weekend hosted in her city, in her team's arena, for a league that's relied on her like oxygen since her debut. I am incredibly sad and disappointed to say I can't participate in the three-point contest or the All-Star Game. I have to rest my body. Caitlyn Clark, July 17, 2025. The statement was polished, professional. But the message behind it? Crushing. This wasn't just another tweak. This was the culmination of a brutal rookie schedule, sky-high expectations, and a body screaming for pause. For Clark, this All-Star Weekend was supposed to be a coronation. Instead, it became a cautionary tale. And the questions began. Was she overused? Was she protected by the officials? And how does the WNBA protect its future when its brightest star is already burning out? Caitlyn Clark didn't just show up in the WNBA, she arrived with the force of a cultural reset. From sold-out arenas to record-breaking ratings, the Indiana Fever rookie became the face of the league overnight. But while the world saw the highlights, the deep threes, and the jaw-dropping assists, they didn't see what was happening beneath the surface. Her groin injury wasn't a one-off. It was the latest in a slow buildup of physical tolls that had been mounting since training camp. From the first tip-off, Clark carried more than just a team. She carried a brand, a league. Expectations so heavy they'd buckle a veteran. But Caitlyn was just months removed from playing 40 minutes a night at Iowa and then jumping straight into the most physical league she's ever encountered. Without rest, without space, and often without protection. In interviews, Clark has never made excuses. But her body has been screaming the truth for weeks. Quad soreness, groin inflammation, fatigue that doesn't go away. And let's not forget, she's also been absorbing the most contact of any player in the WNBA, game after game, with minimal whistle support. Opponents don't just defend Clark. They target her. They grab. They bump. They harass. She's not just playing basketball, she's surviving it. There's only so much the body can take. She's being leaned on every possession. That's not just physical, that's mental wear too. Coach Stephanie White. The signs were there. Decreased lateral movement. Hesitation on drives. A noticeable limp after hard cuts. And now, her withdrawal from the All-Star Game is confirmation. Clark is hurting. And the league is feeling it. Because when Caitlyn Clark limps, the WNBA wobbles. This isn't about load management. It's about survival. Clark's been playing through injury not because she's careless, but because she knows the weight of her presence. The ticket sales, the merch, the TV deals, they orbit her. But no star shines forever when the schedule gives no space to breathe. Even her coach recently admitted, Clark's been playing through multiple issues for weeks. Her decision to sit out All-Star Weekend wasn't sudden, it was overdue. In another league with more infrastructure, more protection, and more rest, this might have been avoided. But this is the WNBA in 2025, compressed, competitive, and still learning how to protect its crown jewels. Caitlyn's body has been telling us the story. We just weren't ready to listen until she said, I'm done, at least for now. To understand why Caitlyn Clark's injury saga is more than just bad luck, we need to look at the bigger picture. One that's been slowly boiling since tip-off in May, the WNBA's physicality problem and its troubling officiating inconsistencies. Clark didn't get hurt because she's fragile. She got hurt because the league she entered is a relentless, punishing battleground, and in her case, the referees have too often let it become a free-for-all. Let's start with the facts. Clark absorbs more contact per possession than any other rookie in recent memory. She's been elbowed, hip-checked, grabbed, and tackled on cuts. Screens against her are often borderline illegal. Drives to the rim? They almost always end in contact, yet the whistle rarely comes. Is it because she's a rookie? Or because she's Caitlyn Clark? That's the debate swirling inside and outside the W. Some argue she should earn her calls. Others say she's being intentionally targeted as a message to the league and the media. This is our turf, not hers. You don't come into this league and get superstar calls. You have to prove you belong first. Anonymous WNBA veteran, per Insider Report. But that argument falls apart when you consider how consistently she's been hammered without support. This isn't about favoritism, it's about fairness. Protecting all players, especially the most visible ones, is a baseline requirement for any healthy league. And yet, game after game, we see Clark bounce off the hardwood, glance at the ref, and jog back on defense without a whistle. The message? You're on your own. Some say this is just how the WNBA has always been: gritty, physical, unforgiving. And there's truth in that. But what happens when physicality crosses the line into recklessness? We saw it in games against Chicago and New York. Intentional bumps after the whistle. Cheap shots disguised as hard defense. And in most cases, silence from the officials. Clark's treatment has sparked a wave of discourse not just among fans, but among legends of the game. Diana Taurasi, Lisa Leslie, even NBA stars have weighed in. The WNBA needs to tighten up its officiating standards, because what's happening now threatens to turn stars into injuries and injuries into absences. And now we're here. Caitlyn Clark is not in the All-Star Game. Not in the three-point contest. Not on the court. She's in recovery, largely because the people who were supposed to protect her didn't do enough. This isn't just about Clark either. It's about the product. The WNBA is in a renaissance. Record-breaking viewership. Sellout crowds. A viral moment every other night. But if the league doesn't protect its stars, physically and through the whistle, it risks dimming its brightest light. The league must answer the hard questions. Are the refs equipped to handle the magnitude of Clark's presence? Is there bias in the way fouls are assessed to rookies or stars? And how can the league evolve to ensure that physical defense doesn't become sanctioned violence? Because if things don't change, Caitlyn Clark's All-Star absence might not be the last we see. Caitlyn Clark's absence from the WNBA All-Star Game is not just a blow to fans or a momentary pause in highlight reels. It's a tremor shaking the very business and branding foundation the league has worked so hard to build over the last year. Let's not mince words. Caitlyn Clark is the WNBA's biggest box office draw. Her presence has elevated not only the Indiana Fever but the league's visibility as a whole. From sold-out arenas to record-breaking national TV ratings, Clark brought something that transcends basketball. She brought the casual fan. So when news broke that she wouldn't be suiting up for All-Star Weekend, it sent shockwaves through every level of the ecosystem. Broadcasters, ticket vendors, corporate sponsors, and yes, the fans who booked trips and tuned in with one name in mind. Caitlyn Clark not playing in the All-Star Game is like Taylor Swift canceling mid-tour. That's the magnitude. Industry marketing executive, via anonymous WNBA source. And yet, as jarring as her absence is, it's not surprising. The warning signs had been there for weeks. The physical toll, the mental weight, the packed schedule, the all-too-visible bruises. But when she finally withdrew, quietly, without drama, the WNBA had to confront a reality it wasn't quite ready for. Without Clark, the league feels different. That's not a knock on the all-star talent still taking the floor. Players like Aya Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Nafisa Collier are superstars in their own right. But Caitlyn Clark brought with her a momentum wave that made everything feel bigger. National broadcasts. Social media buzz. Ticket surges in every city she visited. Her absence isn't just a logistical problem, it's a vibe shift. And for the Indiana Fever, the implications run even deeper. Clark was on pace to become their first rookie All-Star since Tamika Catchings in 2002. She wasn't just the team's engine, she was the story. Her chemistry with Aaliyah Boston was starting to blossom. The offense was evolving. And most importantly, the wins were coming. After a brutal start, the Fever had clawed their way into playoff conversation. Clark sitting out? That halts momentum, not just for her but for her team. More practically, it's a challenge for the Fever's rotation. Without Clark drawing double teams and stretching defenses with her range, matchups shift. Boston will face more congestion in the post. Kelsey Mitchell won't get as many clean looks. The whole system feels the strain. On the league side, advertisers and broadcasters are undoubtedly regrouping. The WNBA was banking on Clark's presence at All-Star to spike engagement. Social media promos. Halftime interviews. Pre-game photo ops. All gone. But maybe, just maybe, this is a wake-up call the league needed. Clark pulling out of the All-Star festivities has sparked a bigger conversation about player wellness, rest, and league scheduling. And those conversations are crucial. Because if the WNBA wants to thrive with its new stars, it has to evolve to protect them, before they break down. Her absence is a loss. No question. But it also offers the league a moment to pause, reassess, and reset priorities. Protecting players, especially those who carry the weight of a movement, isn't optional. It's essential. Caitlyn Clark stepping back from the All-Star Game isn't the end of her rookie journey. But it is a pivotal inflection point, for her, for the Indiana Fever, and for the league that built its summer around her star power. Let's start with Clark herself. Despite whispers online and overreactions from media corners, Clark has not quit the WNBA. She's not walking away and she hasn't lost her love for the game. What she's done is hit the brakes. And that may be the wisest move of her young career. Because when you're in the eye of the storm, stepping out of it is the only way to survive. Clark knows what's at stake. She's seen what happens to players who go too hard, too long, too fast. Careers cut short. Mental health ignored. Superstars sidelined indefinitely because they pushed through the pain. She's choosing longevity over applause, and in doing so, she's forcing a conversation the WNBA can't afford to ignore anymore. If the league truly wants to grow with players like Clark at the center, it has to invest in sustainability. That means expanding rosters to ease workloads, revisiting travel logistics to reduce exhaustion, improving injury protocols and recovery infrastructure, and maybe, most controversially, adjusting the season calendar to allow proper rest after college careers or Olympic play. Because Caitlyn Clark's moment isn't supposed to be one summer of magic. It's supposed to be a decade of greatness. And let's be honest, the WNBA needs her. Not just as a scorer or a passer or a marketing engine, but as a bridge. She brings in fans who might have never watched a women's game before. She's reshaping what it means to be a rookie, a leader, and a symbol, all at once. Her stepping away from the All-Star Game gave us a glimpse into what the league might look like without her fully available. And that glimpse should send chills down the spine of everyone who wants to see the WNBA continue to rise. But there's a silver lining. Clark's choice to rest now, to say no to one weekend of spectacle, could mean saying yes to a full, thriving second half of the season. The Indiana Fever need her healthy. The fans need her energized. And the league needs her protected, not just physically but professionally. Because she's not just the Rookie of the Year favorite. She's the cornerstone of the WNBA's next era. We don't want Caitlyn to be great for a moment. We want her to be great for a generation. ESPN analyst Chiny Aguamike. So what does this all mean? It means Clark's absence was a warning, but also a blueprint. If the WNBA listens, adapts, and supports its stars beyond the box scores, then maybe this mid-season pause becomes the start of something smarter. Not a retreat, but a recalibration. And when Clark returns to the court, fully healed, fully focused, it won't just be about how she plays. It'll be about how the league plays with her. Caitlyn Clark's decision to pause, to protect her body and preserve her mental space, isn't a sign of weakness, it's a mark of leadership. In a league that's still finding its rhythm, she's forcing the rhythm to slow down, to adapt, to grow up. This story isn't about quitting, it's about choosing the long game. Because if we want to see Clark's magic not just for one season but for many, then this moment, this hard, painful pause, might be exactly what the WNBA needed. If you believe the league should do more to protect its stars, if you believe Caitlyn Clark still has so much more to give, and if you want more thoughtful breakdowns, real-time updates, and deep dives just like this, backhand index pointing right, don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow fans, and hit that subscribe button for daily analysis right here on Her Hoops. This is where women's basketball gets the respect, the depth, and the storytelling it deserves. We'll be here every step of the way. Until then, take care and keep the game growing. Basketball Speech Balloon.